it looks like our question for number 7 is, what is something you are trying to improve about yourself?
Lifespan.
That's fair. Fair answer. Improve your lifespan.
Trusting other people.
Okay.
Not killing my friends.
I appreciate that.
I think that's when we can all appreciate.
All right. Mix, Jinku, how about you? You two. What are you improving about yourselves?
Trying to lessen.
Actively.
Oop.
Go ahead, Mix.
Ladies first.
Actively, nothing. Jinku's not working on anything, but probably unconsciously she's, trying to get smarter.
All right. All right. How about you, Mix?
Mix is trying to curb his revenge fantasies a little bit.
All right. There we go. All right. It's been a hot minute. But who wants to give us a rundown of what all you got up to last time? And if you need something to maybe jog your memory, a familiar location.
I remember glowy spiders.
Yes, there were.
Oh, yeah, you guys got all stupid and went down in the hole a bunch.
I just remember
So-
staying down there for the longest out of anybody ever.
Yeah, but you can make yourself not very visible. I really can't do that, so.
I remember vaguely hitting Jinku in the head with a torch.
You did?
Yes, you did.
I remember getting bit by a spider.
Why is it that when I'm gone, you guys just really get into a lot of trouble?
We get
Because
it
you're
in
our voice of reason, so when you're not here, we do dumb shit.
I mean, at least there were no extracted body parts this time.
That you know of.
That I know of.
About that.
Did
No, we
did
didn't- we
Wu
didn't
cut
remove
more
any body
parts
parts
off
this
of
time.
Torta just to see if they grow back?
No. We didn't do that this time.
This time.
This time.
Just next time I'm not here.
Don't leave us and we don't do this shit.
That's a lot of responsibility.
No pressure.
You're basically the mother of this group. We need you.
Isn't that how the cleric usually ends up being anyways?
If it wasn't for the fact that I think Moog might have, dragged me here against my will, I might have not come this week, but I'm suffering through it.
Alright. So yes, you had all of the shenanigans with the hole. But there was kind of an overarching reason why you guys were even here at the Yawning Portal in the first place. There was an kind of old acquaintance of the party that had some information that may have been useful to you here. Yagra Stonefist, half-orc gal that the last time you ran into was way back in the very first session of the campaign in the Yawning Portal, when you knocked up a troll that came up out of the hole.
You might want to rephrase that.
Right, did
No,
I hear
no
you
need.
correctly?
Nope, no need to.
Phrasing?
No need to. But yes. so
Wait,
she-
you did say knocked up the troll, right?
Yeah, knocked up the
I
troll
heard
that
that
came out
right?
of the hole. Yeah.
That is what he said. I
Well, you
think.
know it rhymes, so.
Are we gonna find out that Boo's a daddy?
Oh God, no. So, yeah. So Yagra is the one who had invited you here with some information relating to the Centurims, and Boo had gone upstairs on his own with her and some of her associates for a meeting with a group that she's part of that they call themselves the Doom Raiders. And technically speaking, they are the actual Zentarim, whereas, from what the information that they relate to Boo, the Zentarim that have been causing shit in town are a rogue offshoot led by some mysterious person. They aren't sure who. They know that there was the what was his name? Fuck. And there's the guy that you guys kicked, or that I think distorted, kicked out a window at the manor that you guys raided. He was pretty high up in the organization. That was who they thought was like running things, but things are still going. But they want to get control of the Zentrum again, so they can get things back to normal, how things used to run with that organization, and kind of keep it out of the kind of more extreme measures that this offshoot group that's kind of co-opted their name has gotten. Has gotten them kind of a shitty reputation in town and to yourselves. So they relayed all that information to Boo and kind of asked for his help in finding out more of what you guys could about this splinter group of the Zentrum, and see if you could assist them somehow in getting their albeit not good name, but at least average reputation in Waterdeep back, instead of this malicious offshoot that is giving them a bad run.
But I just tell the party we have permission to slaughter the other ones. That's my plan.
All right. So with where we left off, Boo, you just finished up having this conversation upstairs with the what was his name? Let me find it here. Davil Starsong was who you had your conversation with upstairs. And you come back downstairs, you find the rest of your party. They're still kind of, I think Jinku got a nice bite on her leg that she was kind of still getting dressed up down here, and the rest of you are all kind of still chilling down here on the main floor of the awning portal as Boo descends.
I need a band-aid.
I thought I healed Jinky.
I think Jinku, if I remember right, Jinku did get healed some by you. She's probably still got like, a minor bite mark or scar or whatever going on. But the rest of you are all here as Boo comes down. What are y'all getting up to here? Boo's got some new info.
I'll saunter over to you guys. Do you guys give me a drink or what?
I just hand Boo the remainder of the bottle of mead and be like, here.
Alright.
I will relay to you guys pretty much what she told me, but Boo also adds that she too has had problems with those Zentrum and wants us to do our best to kill them all for her. they kidnapped like her niece, and she's or it was not a her, was it? It was a he that we were working with.
Well,
Sorry.
well, I mean, Yager was there too, but
Yeah.
Davil Starsong, he was, yeah, he was like the kind of the main leader of this Doom Raider group. It seems like there are some other members as well that you haven't met, but so far Davil and Yager are your two main people contacts.
Did I? I'm sorry. Sometimes it's really hard to play it like a smart character because I'm fucking dumb as hell sometimes. But like, did I establish? So I think of things too late. But like, did I establish any way to like try and tell the difference if I see a Zentrum? You know, did I talk to this guy and like figure out some maybe code word or something to say so that I don't nuke him? Because I remember I was very clear, you know, like I almost killed them, but I was very clear that once I understood that, like, I'll do what they want, but I'm going to murder the shit out of all of them, you know.
Um,
I don't know if I would have thought, I feel like I maybe would have thought about something like that or tried to.
yeah, like I don't recall, but I think that sounds fair. That's something you probably would have clarified with them. I mean, at least from Davil's explanation, it sounds like, in terms of the Zentarim group, that is the kind of group that you find throughout most of the rest of the Sword Coast. The Zentarim are pretty. The Black Network is what they are also called, kind of like an underground espionage slash. They do some kind of shady stuff, but usually not like shady violent stuff, but usually like shady trading stuff and information. But like that's what they had here before, and mostly it's just them. This Doom Raider group of a pretty small handful, not really people you would be running into everywhere else, but like the rest of the Zentarim, just kind of general lay members that you would run into are, they got kind of swayed or, influenced by, whoever this charismatic leader who kind of co-opted their turf was. And so, yeah, pretty much, unless it's like this specific group of the Doom Raiders, pretty much every other Zentarim you're going to find is with the main Splinter group.
Kill them all.
Nice and simple.
So I like it. So I explained that to you guys.
Oh, and he did mention there was one particular place of like kind of a lead that he dropped for you all to maybe start looking into. Supposedly there is a set of towers down in, I think it was like the southeastern part of Waterdeep, if I remember correctly. I know it's in the southern part, but I think it's southeast. Where like the Zentarim, used to kind of have their main base of operations, was kind of in that area, and it seems like it's been changed since whoever this is took over. But they said they recommended investigating this tower down in the south part of town and see if you could find any way there. Like they can't seem to find a way in at all.
Huh. That's not a concept I really understand. So I will, yeah, I think we should go there. Are you guys still drinking? Can we do this all in one night? You guys don't need to sleep, do you? I don't need to sleep. I'm better than that. You guys can handle it, can't you? You want to go check this tower out? Let's say we take one on the road and
Diara has only been drinking tea, so she might be the only sober one. Per usual.
I don't think Blue drinks. Like, if he does, it's probably very sparingly.
Same for Torta. He's a monk. Come on.
Blue smokes his pipe all the time, constantly smoking his pipe.
Jinku's huge. She can handle her liquor.
Since Mix has taken up an interest in making alcohol, he's been trying all sorts, so he's a little toasted. Somebody might get hit with an Eldritch Blast accidentally.
So it's business as usual.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
I got like Mage Hand that I'm using to like kind of help Mix like beast. Like I've got on his shoulder because you can see Mage Hand, I believe, and it's like kind of helping him be steady.
Just
Like,
use your
"Alright,
mage hand to like churn him in the right direction when he's using spells.
pretty much like that's probably something if he's getting tanked very often, probably something I'd take up doing. Just trying to help point him in the right general direction.
Okay. So let me get a map. Well, I don't have like a close-up exterior map, but I have the overall chunk of Waterdeep where this is at, so you can get kind of an idea here. So, oopsies. Don't want that one. Okay. So, here's a map. So this is the very southern part of town. You can actually see, if you scroll the map up a little bit, the Yawning Portal is also marked on there in the very top left corner. So, kind of a ways down one of the larger roads here is Colot Towers, which is the location that Davil had mentioned to you might be worth looking into.
Let's head south on the way of the dragon, then. And I'll point Mix in the direction of the door.
Sounds good. Let's go.
All right. So you all make your way south through town, and it's probably like afternoon at this point. So the streets are pretty bustling. I mean, you guys make your way down the Way of the Dragon, kind of one of the major thoroughfares of Waterdeep. Kind of mingling among the crowds of people. There's traders and carts going back and forth down the street. There's plenty of small little shops and stalls all along the way selling their various wares. And you eventually make your way down to that part of town and veer off onto some of the little side streets to try to get a view of what you're looking at. As you guys get close to that area, I mean, a lot of the southern ward is, fairly nice, middle of the range homes and structures. Most of them are, 2, 3, maybe 4 stories tall. Some of them have like a shop on the first floor and then like residential above, things like that. But this Colot Towers kind of sticks out a little bit from this area. You see that this it's a set of 2 towers, kind of cozied up next to each other here, and it looks a little dilapidated almost to you all as you get kind of close on the block there. Maybe you're coming down what is it, Slop Street or Fishwife Alley, right around that area. like it doesn't look in the best of shape. Like it almost looks abandoned in some ways to you all. Like the exterior, like especially like the roofing shingles, are kind of in a rough way. You can see, spots where some of them are hanging off, or have been damaged by weather or whatever else. And the rest of it all looks like it's been there quite a while. You also don't really seem to see much traffic directly around it. Like you see, the towers come down, and there is a. Let me see. Where is? Pretty sure I have a picture of this. Hold on. Nope, that's that one. No. Ah, here we go. Okay. Let me mask this a little bit.
You can just let us see it all.
Nah.
Really, it's okay.
We could accept that eventually I will be omnipotent, and that you might as well just show me everything by now, because like I will know it in the future,
Yeah.
and I would share it with all my friends.
So we
See?
can just skip a couple steps.
Yeah, let's skip the bullshit.
Yeah, you can just, like, tell us how this all ends anyway. Because clearly we're going to pass with flying colors.
Of course, of course.
Like we always do.
All right. I think that should be showing up properly.
No, dog.
Let me zoom out.
It all just black. Okay.
Yeah.
All black.
Okay, so what you need to do, step one is going to be drop our tokens on the map.
Oh, that's probably what it is. Okay.
I'm gonna help you.
Oh, did they change how like masking stuff works or something?
They did a couple different things. There's a couple different things that I've figured out. You kind of have to do. You need to make sure the tokens are on the map. I figured out how to test to see if you generally should be able to see them.
Okay.
But for what you're doing, I have the settings basically figured out.
Okay. Let me grab
There
the
is some
tokens
set-
here. All right. Here's Boo.
He just keeps looking at my screen to see if he did it right.
Thank you. Oh, it looks like it's. Is there? I think it's doing the.
You need to.
Dynamic
Alright.
lighting thing.
Is the map that you? Is this part of a module or is it third party stuff?
It's kind of part of a module. I can't remember if it's part of like the actual D&D module, but there was like kind of like an add-on thing that had like a lot better drawn maps for this. Which is what this is from. It's like the ones from the model are all just like black and white, like ink doodles. This one's a lot better.
It seems like, so I'm not trying to cheat. I apologize. I'm looking at your stream.
Yeah, that's fine. And it's not really important.
And when you're like, I see you hover over the bushes and stuff, it seems like the dynamic lighting is set up. So what you need to do is move all of us east so that we're in the courtyard kind of thing there, and not on the wall, because walls really matter. You're going to want to right click the map and change the, like, go to tokens and change the, yeah, there you go, lock tokens. I know I'm a couple seconds behind. Moving people out of a wall is kind of sucky.
Yeah, it's being a little, I can't like grab any of you.
Yep. You gotta move, can you move them north-south though?
Here, let me just take these tokens off and just redrop them in a better location.
Do that. So then once you have that, there is like one other setting you gotta go to, like change a lighting setting to be able to make it so that we can see, and then it should work. Nope,
Okay.
I can see you just fine. Actually, you dropped me on there. I'm good to go.
Okay. But can you just see like that corner you're in, or can you see the entire walled-in area? 'Cause...
Yeah, I can see the corner, and then there's probably like a little window because like there's like lighting there or something.
Okay.
And I'm inside of a walled-in area, so I
Okay.
can tell that. Yeah.
Okay.
If you look at Riss's screen now, you should be able to
Oh,
see.
yeah, you're right. Okay.
It looks like it works well.
Okay. So if I wanted to turn, because like technically speaking, you guys aren't in this walled area right now, but I want you to be able to kind of see this walled area like you're outside, looking at the property.
So it looks like there's a gate or a door kind of on the. Again, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're
on
fine.
the-
No, it's fine. It's fine. I don't
on the
mind.
southwestern side of the thing. So like so we should be able to go through there. If you want to move us, you're just gonna have to move us through the door. Like you'll have to grab our tokens and move us through there.
Yeah.
And if we're outside, I think that's where you want us to be, right?
Yeah.
Out there is what you're saying. Yeah, you can move us out there,
Okay.
or you can drop our tokens outside because it looks like the lighting's set up for outside of this wall too.
Okay.
You just can't drop us in the wall. That's where the problem is going to be.
Right. What I mean, like
And we can't move
how
through the wall.
do I turn the dynamic lighting off because I don't want that right now?
On the top, there's a little padlock that says read only, and you click that,
Mm-hmm.
and then it has some options on the side. One of
Enable
them
disable lighting.
Yeah, it's like one of those.
Okay.
So I think that made it brighter. That did your masking. Like that's
There
where
we
we're
go.
at.
That's what I'm
See
looking
your masking.
for. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, cool. Perfect. That's what I wanted. Awesome. Okay. So, where were we? So yeah, so you guys rolling up to the crib, and
Sorry, but I still can't see anything on here.
oh, here, let me reshare it just in case it got screwy at some point.
She's got the map pulled up, but yeah.
I'll share. How about now,
There we
Chico?
go.
Awesome.
I can see it now.
Technical difficulties. All right.
That's what tonight's all about.
All right. So yeah, like I said, it looks a little, somewhat dilapidated to you guys from the outside. As you come up to the area, like you can see that this structure with these two towers has like a wall around the outside, and like currently your tokens are inside the wall, but like you guys are not technically in there right now. It was just we had to put you there so you could see stuff. But yeah, you notice that there's like this wall around the outside, and it's not a particularly high wall. It's maybe 15 feet high all around the edges of this, and then of course the towers are sticking up above it there. And so you guys are currently kind of standing out on the street here, amongst the people and the passerby. There's not quite as many people walking around back here. You're kind of in a off street, so you have maybe some local residents around.
And we're full. I guess no, we're not rested. We could spend some slots here. Okay.
Yeah, some of you guys had some adventures in the hole earlier today. In the yawning portal.
Yeah, that was good times.
Okay,
Yeah, it
so how do we get you guys? Like, I can climb this wall. What about the rest of you?
How high is it?
I mean, the wall is about 15 feet high.
I just jumped to the top of it.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an acrobatics save. Okay. So, Torda, you're kind of looking up and down this wall, quite confident that this is no problem for you. And you leap up, handily clearing the height of the wall, and suddenly find yourself kind of bouncing backwards off of some sort of invisible field, and kind of tumble awkwardly back onto the street. Nearby, you see kind of a old man sitting on his looks like his doorstep, uh, kind of let out a few chuckles as you kind of tumble onto the cobblestones.
All right, we're gonna head towards the laughing guy.
All right. So, like, the old guy sees you kind of coming over to him, and he's like, I take it you're not from around the neighborhood, then, huh?
Nope, I'm not from around the neighborhood. How do we get in?
No, nobody gets in there. Heck, I don't think anybody's even in there anymore. But there's some sort of magic there. Nobody, not even the birds. And he kind of gestures around on the street, and you notice, like, looking around, there's an oddly large number of dead birds, kind of strewn around the street, and some of, like, the nearby buildings. You see some that have, like, bounced off and landed on, like, the roof. But yeah, it seems like there's quite a fair number of flying creatures that bonk into whatever this is, and unfortunately die.
Yeah, I don't feel like beating up an old man right now anyway. I'm gonna go back to the wall where I tried to jump in and kind of knock on it to see if I can tell how dense the wall is, since it's dilapidated.
Okay. Give me a let's say, like, an investigation check for that. Okay. So you're kind of, like, tapping on the wall here, and it seems fairly sturdy. I mean, like, the stones that are, like, making it up, I mean, they've definitely seen their fair share of time. But it seems like a pretty solid construction.
All right, I won't waste my time trying to punch my way through.
All right. What are the rest of you doing? Like, you just saw Torta kind of bounce in midair off of a wall and fall to the street. What are the rest of you up to?
Well, I can't counterspell yet. I know that much. Try and unravel that.
Do we see any like grates with, like, drains, like, at the bottom of the wall?
Let's see. Do a perception check for me. Okay. I mean, just looking around, like, the wall and, like, the street, there aren't any, like, unusually placed drains or anything. Like, I mean, there's a few, drains in, like, the street itself, like there are on most of the streets around Waterdeep. But aside from those, just kind of general city sewer type drains. Nothing in particular around the wall.
Maybe we could go under, guys. And I'll point to the closest, like, manhole or whatever that I see near us. Seems like going in sewers is what we do.
The old man's house, it wasn't attached to the wall, right? It was separate.
Yeah, I mean, there aren't any other structures, like, attached to the wall that goes around this place from what you can see. Like, it seems like its own, like, it's got its own, like, set of property. It's got a wall all the way around it, and the towers are in the middle. And then you can't really see just on this map, but you can pretty much assume, like, around the outside of that wall is, like, adjacent streets, and then other buildings are across those streets, houses and shops and whatever.
You magic type can't do nothing. Get in people's head, but you can't get through a wall.
What good are they, magic users?
Useless.
So I'll kind of like be looking at the wall, and like Jinku points out the like sewer grates and stuff. I'm supposed to be one of my background things is I'm really good at urban infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this might help. It does say like I have a basic knowledge of buildings, including stuff on my walls, and I can find blueprints to learn more.
Mm-hmm.
It's not unlimited access to information, but like I'm like good at kind of finding entry points and structural weaknesses. Maybe if I could find a blueprint.
Okay. I mean, with that, I mean, you're kind of thinking to yourself, poring over this structure here, and you consider if you were wanting to look for blueprints of some kind, if there are any, perhaps consulting some of the city government offices to see if they have anything stored of the construction uh, information for this structure could be a source for those.
So I can't do anything with magic, but I can do something with smarts. We can go look for blueprints for the place. We can maybe go poke around in the dirty water. I don't have any magic thing that's going to get all of us through that, or even any of us through it without expending, significant. It's just not worth it, Torda.
How about blowing the gate up?
Well, I don't think we should do that. You're killing me.
Do you think it would open from the other side?
Yes. That's what a gate does. What else do you look at? Oh, we have failed you. My charge along the line somewhere, I failed you terribly. And for that, I am truly sorry. This is why I wish to put an end to you.
You didn't teach him how to use a gate? Jesus.
No, I was just asking if you think it'd be locked from the other side, because I have these handy shrinking potions. You could push me under the gate and wait for me to enlarge to open it.
While you guys are like conversing amongst yourselves, Jinku, you hear a very, very kind of distant thudding noise, and a pigeon falls down next to you from somewhere above you.
First, have we tried knocking on the gate? Like, somebody let us in?
No, that is not something that I or anyone else has thought of prior to this point. Good Torda. Perhaps you should do that.
I'm gonna go over and just pound on the gate a couple times.
Okay.
Gate's gotta be weaker than the actual stone wall anyway, right?
While he's doing that, I'm going to bend down to check on the pigeon.
Okay. So Torda, you walk over to the gate, and like the wall is about maybe like a 2 foot thick wall, and like the gate is like inset in the wall a little bit, and like as you kind of try to go up to the gate to bang on it, you find that you can't quite reach the gate itself. Like you're stopped about maybe 7 or 8 inches away from actually being able to touch the gate.
Damn magic types.
Dirty, tricksty bastards.
That bullshit. Perhaps I should have studied more.
Jinku, you were checking on the pigeon. Pigeon's not looking so hot. It seems to have a broken neck, and it's kind of flailing about in its final throes there on the street.
She's looking at the bird. I'm just gonna launch my tongue and snap it up.
That's fine because she couldn't bring herself to finish it off, even though she wanted to put it out of its misery.
You just hear some crunching of the bones. Little feather escapes.
God.
Thanks, Torta. At least it was quick.
Give me a Constitution save there, Torta. I don't think eating dirty street pigeons is probably a common thing that you do. So let's see how well that goes down. Okay, all right. You managed to hold it down. It definitely was not very good. I mean, it was a pigeon. The raccoons of the sky, and it was also, not cooked or anything. It was just literally a still slightly alive pigeon.
Well, it's not alive anymore.
It's not alive anymore. It was for like maybe a moment, but it was not a very pleasant culinary experience.
Zyara just looks extremely disgusted and maybe nauseous.
I feel like I'm being judged right now.
You are.
I'll put the ring on so nobody can see me. Go hide. Go hide in my room.
You guys trying anything else while you're still down here?
Well, I'll mention that I couldn't knock on the door, so I don't think his potions are gonna work. If I can't knock, you can't walk under.
So perhaps we should revisit the sewer idea?
Why does somebody so large like to be in the sewer so much?
I don't
it's
like to
concerning.
be, but it seems like the sewers lead us everywhere. So, logic.
The large one has a point.
Unfortunately.
Jinku likes to cosplay as a sewer clog.
Every time you make me go down in the sewer, I feel like a turtle. Let's go and see if we can find a way in.
I like turtles.
I like zombies.
I like tarts. Let's go.
Well, we know you like tarts. That's not new information.
Jinko, if this gets us in, I'll take you to the pet store.
So, if you guys going down into the sewers around here, so I mean there are there's some drains like in the street here, but these are more of like drains, not actual entrances. But I mean, Boo, just from your kind of general knowledge of urban infrastructure, you kind of just slip into some kind of side alleys off this street here, back behind some homes, and kind of some side alleys back there. You manage to find more of an access port type drain instead of just a storm drain. One that's big enough at least that you're able to get into. And so you pop the cap on that and head on down. So finding yourself.
Zyara is very proud of Jinku for using logic.
Yay, I helped.
So once again, you find yourself in the Waterdeep sewers for the umpteenth time, and I mean the area right around where you guys come down from the access point. I mean these sewers, there's running water going through here. I mean, this is kind of a residential area, so these are, still in use, of course. Doesn't smell so great. But you see that there is a currently just two directions for you to go. There is a kind of main tunnel heading off to the west of you, and another one also heading off to the east. And given that you found this entrance to the west of the towers, you assume that heading east would probably be the right way to go.
I'll point drunkish mix in the east, the east direction, and we'll head down there.
Okay.
I guess.
All right. So you all kind of head to the east a little ways. I mean, you guys aren't too far away from the towers. And eventually you kind of come to an intersection with another kind of crossways heading north-south. And you can see, like, looking up above you, there's a couple spots kind of up in the ceiling that seem to extend upwards, and you can see a little bit of light coming through. It seems that wherever you are now seems to be under that street that you guys were just on outside of Kolat. So some of these grates you're seeing above you are the ones that you were seeing in that street. So yeah, the water continues flowing. It's going to the north and west as well from channels that way, and then east.
Okay. So do I figure we're like under the wall and we're seeing like stuff above us, like from other things on the other side of the wall, or?
I mean, so currently you're under the street. So if you guys are continuing to head east, you kind of hop across the intersection point where the north south one kind of bisects this one you were following along, and you notice Boo, not very far after you kind of get across this intersection. It's the water and other fluids seem to be kind of pooled a bit more on the eastern side here, and eventually you kind of find yourself you bump into this kind of invisible field down here as well. It seems to be stopping you and stopping the sewage. It's kind of pooling up a little bit on this small bit of side channel that it went to the east before it hit this barrier. And otherwise, kind of pools here and swirls a bit because there's still current coming in from the other directions. So it just kind of hits this barrier and kind of makes little eddies in the sewage.
Now we all smell like mix for no reason. I'm disappointed. Come on. I'll turn around and begin trudging back to the nearest manhole.
Okay.
I was so sure it would work.
Well, I
Be
mean,
better.
Jinku, like, you do see that like there is more tunnel that direction, so I mean, it was a good idea. It's just whoever put the barrier up thought ahead a bit.
Damn magic people.
Can't trust them. So you guys make your way back, and kind of come up out of the sewers here. As you guys kind of come popping up out of this hole and shaking yourselves off, you kind of startle like a nearby housewife who's kind of like hanging up some stuff on their back porch. Seeing this whole group of people just kind of pop out of the ground, reeking, maybe a little bit wet. She's like, "Oh, goodness! I didn't see anything. I don't want any trouble."
I'll stop and just look at her while the rest of the people come out. I don't say anything. Like I just like look at her.
Okay.
I'm waiting for everybody, keeping an eye on her. If she seems like she's gonna get wily, I will cast something mean on her, like magic missile or something. Yeah, I'll cast magic missile on her.
So, I mean, as you're kind of just like staring at her while your compatriots are coming out of the sewer hole, she seems to just look very obviously unnerved and kind of hastily, grabs a couple of things off her back porch and hurriedly goes back inside of her house. She does not want to get involved in whatever's going on.
Okay, that's fine with me. So, guys, we can't get in right by going in the sewer. There's a magical barrier we needed to bypass. They want us to figure out how to get into this tower thing. What do we do? I need ideas. I understand I'm the smartest living thing in Waterdeep, but I'm only as good as my inputs here, and we need to brainstorm so that I can storm the brain.
Y'all are the magic type. This is magic. I'm out. I can't help you.
Isn't that what you do, magic? You're
Nope.
hundreds of fists that come out of your back?
That's sheer mental strength and training. Don't confuse it with your trickery and tomfoolery.
You're saying that learning how to manipulate the weave is not just a matter of sheer mental force and training? Is not
That's strength.
your manipulation of your hands just a different way of playing with the weave?
I don't have any weave. I'm a frog. I'm a grung.
You are a grung. You are. And you're a good one at that. You're a good one. I'm glad to have known you.
Oh, I've tried to jump in. I can't pound my way in. It's on everybody else because I don't know what else to do. I've used my abilities.
I don't know what to do either. Mix? Zyara?
I guess
You
I'm
good?
at a loss of what to do as well.
These people you talked to didn't tell us how to get in.
Nix is just thinking of all the spells he knows and trying to figure out if one can get him through a magical barrier. But he's pretty sure no.
Can I roll Arcana just to kind of, I guess, see if there's anything that I don't, like, obviously know or something about this barrier that we're dealing with? Is there something I'm missing or something?
Yeah, you could try rolling Arcana to see if you know anything about this sort of stuff. Okay. Let's see. So, I mean, you've heard of, things like, magical barriers or, fields of force or things before. It's not something you're like particularly familiar with. But usually with these sorts of things, if somebody's using it to protect somewhere, usually they have some sort of key to get through it, whether that be a phrase or an item or something of that sort. Like just from what you know, um, there's some sort of pass key of some type that would likely be used to get through this on a regular basis by someone who uses this.
I'll explain this to everybody. There's you guys there. So somebody goes in and out of this, but people say nobody sees anybody go in and out of this. Correct? Is that what you guys have heard?
I mean, from the one old man that you've talked to, yeah, he hasn't seen anybody. He thinks it's abandoned.
What if one of us stayed in the sewers? Well, and like, I could send him in the sewers. I'll point to my homunculus and like hide out. Maybe watch and see if we can see somebody coming in or out. I am at a loss for how to get in this thing.
We
could
could go
look
back
up
and talk to the people that sent us.
I'll be honest, they gave us permission to kill all these enemies on a whim, but I don't have a lot of faith in the abilities of the what's the name of that group again? Dragon something Shields.
Doom
Raiders.
Raiders.
Doom Raiders. The Doom Raiders. I think their aspirations are much bigger than their abilities. We could ask them for help, but what we're gonna get.
All right, I'm back with exploding the wall. That sounds great.
Well, we still
What
gotta
did I do?
pass through the the magical barrier. I don't think even rocks can get through, Torda. Here, I'll pick up a rock and try and throw it like over the wall. If there's like a small pebble in the road or
Oh
something.
yeah, there's plenty of pebbles around. Yeah, you throw it and it bounces off midair, much like Torto did. You do.
So you think it goes through the entire wall? I don't know magic.
Like you do notice, just from kind of standing out in the road here, you can you can see some trees that are growing in here, and through the gate as well. They look the trees that are in there look very poorly taken care of, and also quite dry. I mean, all the time that you have lived in Waterdeep, like that it rains from time to time here. It's got a typical kind of temperate climate. It does not look like these trees have gotten rain on in a long, long time. They're not doing so hot.
Because the barrier's been there.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no sunshine when the barrier's up.
That is how that song goes.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, those are. I mean, you have you have a few things that you guys have come up with there. I mean, you got the blueprint thing to look into if you want to. You can try to stake out the place, see what you can find out. You try, asking around more people who live around here.
We can start beating people up if we need to, because this is pissing me off.
You can try blowing up the wall with explosives and terrorizing the neighborhood.
I like the idea, but they don't.
Ooh. Gas
Not
has
that I
to be
don't
able
like
to.
it, I just don't think it'll work.
Do you think gas could pass through this barrier? Because oxygen has to get in, right?
In theory, but it doesn't seem like even rain can get in.
Let me try one last thing before we take off. And Nix is going to transform into his gaseous form and try to slither through the gate.
Okay. So you transform into your little cloud of yourself and float over that direction. And like once you get again close to the gate, similar to Torta, yeah, you find you can't quite get to the bars. Like you find yourself kind of being pushed back slightly by this field, even in your gaseous form.
The Nix is going to come out and just be like, I'm with Torta, let's blow it up.
So are we going door to door?
Yeah, let's kind of walk around the building and ask anybody that we see about it. See what they know.
Okay.
I'm gonna knock on the lady's door that was super sketchy wanting to get inside.
All right. So you head up to this door of this woman that you had startled coming out of the sewer, and like you knock a couple times, and there doesn't seem to be any answer. Zara, you're kind of standing off to the side of the group here while they're doing this, and you see just like a very slight bit of movement from like one of the curtains in the window where it seems that somebody inside is like peeking out, seeing you all at their door and continuing to not want to have anything to do with what you're doing. Nobody answers.
Gonna knock on the door again and say, if you don't answer, I'll just come in. I saw you in the window.
All right. So like you yelled this out, and again there isn't really an answer, but you do like after a moment, like kind of very faintly from the inside, you hear like a woman kind of respond, "Go away! I'll get the guard. Leave me alone."
We just have a question.
I don't want any trouble. I'll get the guard if you keep harassing me.
I'm not harassing. We just want to ask a question. No trouble.
Like you kind of continue hearing her protest, and no sound of the door opening or anything like that.
We'll give you a silver piece if you just speak to us. Just speak to us. That's all we ask.
Boo, give me a. Is that one? Oh yeah, persuasion is one. Okay, give me a persuasion.
I'm not pretty enough.
Oof. So like you've been calling out about giving her a silver for this, and she hasn't really been responding, and eventually you kind of hear from above you, like a window slightly crack open, and she kind of calls down to you, "I don't want any of you dirty money. Leave me alone."
She called it dirty money, guys. and she saw us coming out of there and got all weirded out. To me, that points to the sewer. That points to something coming in and out of the sewer.
You come down here, lady, and talk before I kick your door down. I'm gonna try to intimidate her.
Okay. Roll for intimidation. Okay. So you kind of yell this up to her, and she seems quite intimidated by this, but quickly yells out at you as she slams the window shut. That's it! I'm calling the guard!
Oh, she's gonna have to come outside to call that guard, so.
Doesn't seem like she is willing to talk with us. Perhaps we should leave before we cause more trouble.
Yeah, I've already done hard time for one murder of a family. I don't want to do it again.
Look, I've murdered multiple people, and I've taken you guys out.
Murder.
Yeah, I was the only one there. Well, no, you killed the husband, right?
Yeah, that's who I killed.
Yeah.
I
But
allegedly.
we were cleared by a court of law.
I still did hard time for that crime, though. You don't know what it was like. Okay,
We were there with you.
You weren't in my corner.
No, we were in the other corner.
See,
It
you
was
say you're
the
the
P corner. You put me in the P corner.
you say you're the
know what.
smartest person in this group. I got away with it. I didn't have to do hard time.
Yeah,
He's
I mean,
smarter than you.
technically, we got away with it.
Y'all got arrested. I never got even indicted or charged. Okay.
It's true. Torta was off doing other stuff.
Boo, why didn't you just get out of the P corner? You have legs.
Smartest human, remember?
Didn't you create the P corner?
I just storm off at this point because I don't want to be here when the guard gets here. Somehow figures out how to call him, and I can't argue with this. And so, like, he was just like puffing his pipe and like angrily like puffing away and stomping off.
Thou hast verily played thyself, good sir.
I'll follow Boo and be like, did you really pee on yourself? I had respect for you until now. You were going to be my monk brother. What is wrong with you?
I never
Peeing
peed.
yourself.
I never peed on myself, but there was just I peed next. I was adjacent. I was pee adjacent. I was adjacent to the pee. That's all. There was one row of cobblestone of normal cobblestone between me and the pee in the pee corner at all times.
I'll just turn to Jinku and Mix and be like, do you think we should follow?
Yeah, probably.
Are you kidding? This is too entertaining not to.
Man's got a point.
He's got a new nickname. His name is Boopy.
Oh my god. Oh no.
Well, this is not at all what I thought was going to come out of this adventure.
No, this is 100 times better.
Oh, for sure.
Listen, all of us are going to be smelling like pee because I honestly think we need to stay in this or go into the sewers. I think that's how they're getting in and out. Well, I guess we could just watch it above here, but you know.
Well, yeah, that's what Jinku said.
How about you guys go in and I'll watch from a hidden house somewhere? Because I don't want to be named Torta P. No trademark there. Sorry, Pokemon.
I'll use prestidigitation to make Torta smell like pee.
I've already been in the sewer, so I smell like you.
Yeah, I mean, you already all kind of smell a bit from your short, uneventful sewer adventure.
Come on, Boopy, get in the sewer.
So are you all going down there to just kind of chill, or Torta, were you going to go like up on a roof somewhere, or watch from above, or
Yeah, if
what
there's
was
a
the plan?
building that I can see the gateway from at least.
Okay. I mean, yeah, like pretty much any of the buildings on this like upper side, like up on this side of the street, like you could go up on top of like any of those and chill.
Yeah, I'll do aerial reconnaissance.
All right, aerial reconnaissance. All right. So while Tortoise doing aerial reconnaissance, like, are the rest of you all just gonna just chill down in the sewer the whole time? Or, I mean, you do have that other blueprint thing you could go look into that would be, marginally less smelly. I mean, it is a government building, but, hopefully it would be less smelly. But
Yeah, Boo's sulking, so he probably like goes to do that.
all right. The rest of you follow, or any of you stay here with Torto doing aerial reconnaissance?
I'll stay with Torta.
Okay. Now, Jinko, I'm not quite sure how well you're going to be able to get up on the roof, but are you going to do like ground reconnaissance then?
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Oh, I wanted to see her climb.
I mean, if you really want to,
I mean,
Jinko,
she'll probably
you can
try, fail, and then like be like, "I'll stay down here." Like, we could definitely play that out. She'll definitely end up on the ground.
Okay. So, Torta, Jinku, you got your kind of divvied up reconnaissance team here. Jinku, you're just kind of making the rounds on the ground. Torto's the eyes in the sky. The rest of you, though, it sounds like you're heading over to, kind of city offices, records office, right?
That's where I'm going.
Okay. Zara makes you going along, or you got your own other things you're doing?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Someone has to keep Boo in line. Or at the very least, keep Boo and Mix from bickering the whole time.
All right. So the three of you, make your way across town to where the city offices are. They're kind of all in the kind of the central part of the city. You're pretty familiar with the area there. You've been to the city offices before when you first got, the deed to your place. It's also not far away from that cursed chicken nugget place from forever ago. That part of town. But you roll up to the city offices and find that the doors are currently closed for the day. With the time that you guys have spent down in the tavern and then also down in that other part of town and walking around, it's kind of in the evening now. And for, the government doesn't work past 5 p.m. and so they are no longer there. You are unable to get into the offices at the moment.
This is some. I took. Okay, all the way here. All the way here. For them not to be open for me, they should have known I was coming. How dare they? I'll wrap my quarterstaff on the door like loudly, and throw a little bit of a temper tantrum at this.
Well, the rapping on the door, you know, echoes a little bit on the inside of the hall on the other side. But it's pretty quiet in there. Nobody comes. Meanwhile, Torta and Jinku, you guys are over by Kolot Towers here, keeping an eye on things. Not too much seems to have happened yet in terms of suspicious people coming in and out or anything. As it's gotten into the evening, and it's gotten a little bit darker, the sun's going down, it's getting a little dusky outside. Torda, you notice something that you hadn't seen before. It seems like a lot of the kind of small windows in the towers do seem to have some faint light coming out of them, and the more that you've been watching this, keeping an eye on things, it seems like those lights have been on like the whole time. They just weren't very visible in the daylight. But there is faint light in pretty much every little window on this place. That becomes easier to see as dusk continues to fall.
Alright, just taking no watching still.
Jinku, down on the street, what are you doing down there? Like, do you try to talk to anybody down there, or are you just chilling? What are you doing, Jinku?
Yeah, she probably wouldn't talk to anybody. She's just trying to be kind of nonchalant and kind of, as hard as it is, blend in as much as she can.
Okay. I mean, as you're kind of sitting down there, like you found like a at least somewhat comfortable crate to sit yourself on, and people watch from. Most of the passerby around here, like there aren't like a whole lot of them. There's a few here and there, but most of them seem to be residents of the area. Variety of ages, variety of races. Coming here and there, going in and out of some of the houses nearby. There's like a small kind of general goods store down the way that you see some of the local residents going into and out of, kind of getting various sundries. But otherwise, as of yet, nothing too exciting in like at least this these few hours so far that you guys have been watching, beyond Torta noticing the lights. So while that's going on, the other three of you, having found that the government offices are already closed for the day, what are you three up to?
I throw a fit for at least a half an hour.
Boo rages.
And then I guess
Boo
head
be
home.
mad.
Zara, Mixie, are you guys doing anything too, Boo, or just watching in bemusement this whole time while he has a little hissy
I'm
fit?
just amused.
Fair. Fair.
I'm loving every second of this. It's got a following and laughing.
Oh, nice. All right. So Boo continues to have a hissy fit over in the center of town. Torta, Jinku, like you guys continue your vigilant watch over by Kolat Towers here. And Jinku, you notice, the streets are kind of quieted down a bit, and there seems to be someone comes like walking up the road, and much like everyone else that has walked by, doesn't appear to be too particularly suspicious looking. But as he's coming up the road, very suddenly, as he gets to where the gate is at, you see him very rapidly turn and approach the gate, and roll a perception check for me as you're keeping an eye on him here. Okay. So Jinku, you see him kind of rapidly approach the gate, and like you see some like movement, but you can't really quite make out what it is he's doing with the kind of rapidly approaching darkness, and he kind of caught you a little bit off guard, just because he seemed like another regular passerby until all of a sudden he wasn't. And he very quickly passes through into the interior of this place. Torta, you up on the roof. You roll a perception check for me as well. Let's see if you caught anything.
Do I have time to get to him?
Oh hell.
Very nice perception check. Very nice. So, with the amount of time between, when he was just coming down the street like a regular person and then going through the gate, like it was pretty much like within under like a second or two that he just kind of rapidly went over there and went through. But you did, with that perception roll, you did notice, especially with your angle above on the roof, when he got right up to the gate, it looks like he reached into his shirt, and you caught a glint of Um, coming a familiar face. You see Mert coming down the street. He doesn't seem to have taken notice of you. It seems he's coming down a street from the north, and just from the way that he's kind of heading, it seems like he's, once he gets down to the area in front of like the city offices, turning to the east down the main drag that way. But you see his kind of recognizable form. He's got his walking stick and his his usual kind of old but fanciful looking adventuring attire on that he usually has.
Remind me again who Mert is.
Sure. Mert is, I'll get you a picture. He is he's a moneylender, but also former adventurer, and he's also been a contact for you guys with the Harper organization, and has given you a variety of information over the course of your interactions with him. For instance, the adventure you guys had to the Blue Alley was kind of your first interaction with him, but he's also, he gave you information about that fight ring and kind of various other helpful things now and then as he's dropped by your bar. He's a pretty familiar face to you.
Okay. I nudge Mix and Boo and I go, and I let them know that I see Mert. I don't suppose you think he could help us with anything involving getting into that tower or the government building?
It's worth a try. It's always worth a try.
Indeed.
If nothing else, he's friendly enough.
All right. The three of you make your way over to catch up to Mert on the street.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So you kind of head over his direction. As you get closer to him, he takes a notice of you all and kind of changes his course to come say hello. And as he approaches you, he kind of doffs his hat a bit, and it's like, "Why, hello! What brings you to this part of the city?" I was just making my way over to the tavern myself.
Oh, well, we were hoping to get into the government blueprint building, but it seems like they've closed up for the evening.
Ah, yes, well, they don't like to work too hard in there. I mean, I should know. I do some work in there myself. What is it you were needing in there? Perhaps I can be of some assistance. Looking into some more on that case you've been working on, huh?
Something like that.
Well, I mean, I guess if you promise to be quick, I can probably let you in the side door for a few minutes. I don't want to keep my acquaintances waiting too long at the tavern, but if it's a quick in and out, just looking for something you need, I can probably give you a little hand there.
That would be greatly appreciated.
She said.
Should we tell him the building we're looking for?
Yeah, I mean, sure you can. It's up to you guys what information you divulge to him about this. Or if you just want to be general on what you're kind of looking for.
I want to be done quick, so I tell him exactly the.
We're just interested in the blueprints for the Colot Towers.
Ah, the Kolat Towers, yes. Well, I'm certain we probably have some there from when the Kolat brothers were still alive and purchased the location. Here, come. I'll let you in one of the side doors back here and point you in the right direction. And he, kind of motions for you all to follow him, and he kind of heads around, kind of up a side alley, up the side of the city offices here, towards a kind of smaller, seemingly kind of an employee entrance almost of sorts on the side of this place. And he reaches into his satchel that he's got, digs around for a bit, and kind of produces a pretty hefty ring of a large variety of keys. And flips through them, and eventually finds the one he's looking for, and opens the door for you and steps inside.
Okay. So we head inside.
He says, well, if you're looking for blueprints, you'll probably want to head up to the 3rd floor, and there you'll find some of the construction records offices. Typically in there, they organize the blueprints or records of construction and buildings in the city by the ward, and then by some of by the cross streets as well. So if you happen to know what those were or what you're looking for, you should be able to track it down pretty quickly.
All right, thank you. Okay, so we head up to the 3rd floor and start looking for the blueprints that we wanted.
Yeah. And as you guys are leaving, Mert says he'll hang out down here for a few minutes, not to take too long, as he has other matters to attend to. But he'll hold on for you guys for a moment so he can lock back up and get on his merry way. So you all head up to the 3rd floor, and in pretty short order find the records office. It's pretty plainly labeled, and you're able to step inside, and you find that you are in a room has a pretty long kind of main desk separating the area that kind of stretches across the length of the room, and you see there's like a few short barriers set up kind of to keep patrons that are coming through in a queue. But there's one end of the counter that has a one of those kind of flip up counter doors, and so you head back through there and find yourselves kind of staring at a number of shelves labeled with the various wards.
All right, let's try and find this quickly so we can get the information we need and get out of here before Mert comes looking for us.
Makes sense. Right.
Yep, let's go.
All right. Well, what shelf do you head for? In terms of ward. I pulled the map back up for you, so in case you didn't remember.
Southern Ward, and I'm assuming it's in alphabetical order, so I'm going to go for the K's to look for Colot Towers.
Okay. So you all make your way over to the kind of Southern Ward filing area, and the shelf kind of extends for a decent number of ways. There's quite a few buildings in the area. You're looking through the shelves, and you're not seeing anything by just by K. You're seeing that things are organized by the cross streets, it seems.
Okay.
So we need to look for Slop in Fishwife Alley?
Seems that way. So you take a look around, manage to find Those that cross street area, and there's a pretty there's a series of filings, like kind of little bins along here, and you kind of flip through them, looking through the local buildings. You find residential structures, some of the other local stores, and eventually find pretty far down one of the piles a record with Colot Towers on it here. And you pull it out. It's fairly dusty. It seems like it hasn't been disturbed in quite some time. Do you guys crack it open here, or you take it with you and head out for now? Take a look at it later.
Are we allowed to take it with us?
That's up to you to decide.
Mix is used to this. He always carries parchment, so he's going to crack it over and see if it's something that he can copy down relatively quickly.
Sure.
If not, he'll take it, copy it, and bring it back later.
Sure. So from taking a look at what is in the parchment here, you see a fairly rudimentary blueprint drawing of some of the tower structures. You notice that it doesn't seem to match up quite with everything that's there now. For example, when you guys were looking at the place, there seemed to be 2 towers next to each other, but this blueprint seems to only have one. The main kind of larger tower is recorded here, but the thinner one adjacent to it is not. But otherwise, it seems to be fairly along the lines of what you expected for this kind of thing. Not too difficult to copy down, so you're able to pretty handily get what needs to be gotten off of it onto a separate piece of parchment if you need to mix. No problem.
Yeah, he's going to copy that down and put it in his recipe folio that he keeps.
Okay.
Be like, all right, we're done. I mean, I'm assuming there's no other records of Colot Towers to account for the second structure.
From what you're finding in the file here, it seems like just from like the descriptions of the structure in this, it seems like the last time that this had some sort of actual official filing with the city, this tower used to be a small library that was owned by the Watchful Order of Magists and Protectors, and it was purchased by the Colot brothers at some point, who seem to have either made some modifications since that time. But that's most of what you're able to find. And let me give you an image here of some of what you're able to see from this. So in the blueprint, it seems to mainly consist of the main tower. So starting from the bottom left is labeled as the first floor, and then to the right of it is the second floor, and then the other 3 kind of farther up in the image are in order from bottom to top: level 3, level 4, and level 5. That seem to be noted here in these blueprints.
Okay, Fix is going to diligently copy every detail and then be like, how do we thank Mert?
How do we thank him?
Oh, we got to do something nice. He's always helping us.
I mean, I feel like offering him a free night of drinking at the troll school would be more than enough for him.
Oh, I know. He can try my new brew. It's ready, and I can invite his friends and see how they like it.
Yes, I'm sure that if you told him it was a exclusive brew that had never been tried before. He might take you up on that.
All right, let's go. Vix is excited.
Okay.
Takes off.
Just don't kill him.
Right. So you file this back where you found it, make your way back out of the records office, and back downstairs where you find Mert kind of aimlessly humming to himself near the door. And he sees you all approaching and says, "Well, I hope you've found what you were looking for up there."
Oh, yes, Mert. Thank you so much. That was more than helpful. Sometime soon, you need to come with your friends. I'm sure you've heard of Deep Miner Ale.
I believe I have heard of that one. It's been quite some time since I've had something of that sort. Have you managed to procure some for Troll Skull?
Well, no, I turned our basement into kind of a little hobby brewery for me, and I have an entire barrel that I just finished. I want you and your friends to come try it one evening. On me.
Well, I would be certainly most obliged. That sounds wonderful. I have obligations this evening already, but next time I'm in Trollskull's area, I'll be sure to pop by and have a sample.
I will leave notes to our staff in case we're not there. Just help yourself when you arrive.
Wonderful. Sounds like a plan. And he kind of stands up and kind of taps his walking stick jovially on the floor and heads back out the side door, pulling his ring of keys back out of his pocket here to lock the place back up.
Next is, once we separate, Mix is going to suggest going back to Kolat Towers and seeing if we can get a vantage point so that he can observe differences between the blueprints that he has and what's sitting there now. See if he can find a weakness.
All right. So three of you make your way back over to Torda and Jinku.
Sure.
All right. So you three head back across town. And in the couple of hours that have passed as you've been all heading over, getting these records and all of that. Aside from that, like one person who slipped inside, there hasn't really been any other activity that Jinku and Torda have been able to see. As the nights come on, the lights that are in the windows have become much more visible now in the darkness. They just kind of very faintly flicker in all of them there, but you haven't seen any other passerby come, and that one guy who went in there, you haven't seen him come back out, and you haven't really seen any movement, or at least like visible movement in any of the windows at all inside. Just mostly every now and then you'll see a bird smack into the barrier, but other than that, not too much going on. Until Torda, as you're up there on the roof, you see coming down the nearby street your other three compatriots, kind of heading back your way. You see them coming up below you here towards the towers.
Mix is going to look for a place where he can see over the walls so he can sketch what's there now and then figure out a way to, so we can all go back to Troll Skull and pour over the notes and figure out if we can find a weakness in this.
Sure. The best place to get a view over the wall would be, probably up on, the roofs or, something like that around any of these buildings around here. As you guys are coming down the street, Jinku's chilling on a crate a little farther up. You can't quite see, Tordo from your angle, but you assume that's probably still continuing his aerial reconnaissance up there. But yeah, you assume that you'd probably need to find some way up there on top of something to get a good sight.
Oh, Mix is just going to ask Jinko if she'll lift him up onto a roof.
Oh, yeah, sure. Which one?
He's gonna find one that looks good, and that one. Feel free to throw me up there if you need to.
Jinku will immediately go over and just like grab him and toss him up.
Okay. Do an athletics check for me, Jinkum. Nice. All right, without too much difficulty, you're able to kind of hoist up Mix and get a nice toss going. Enough that he can kind of grab onto like the building that you managed to find. Like it's 3 stories tall, but like the second story has kind of like a little part that comes out that has its own small roof that you're able to kind of toss him up onto, and from there he's able to get up onto kind of the connecting roof that goes up to the top of the rest of the building, and get a good view without too much difficulty. As you get up there, Mix, like you kind of look over across the roofs and you see, Torta on one of the other roofs nearby, so kind of keeping a watch out.
Mix is going to pull out his notepad and his pencils and everything he carries with him and just start drawing a complete picture of this place.
Sure. So, in terms of what you see from the outside, so starting off with the first level, the structure that you have for the first level there on the left of that picture seems to match up with what you've got in the blueprint. And then in addition to that, there is, of course, the second tower just to south of it. Just kind of get the outline for you here a little bit. Okay, so otherwise that seems to pretty well match up with what you got. The second floor, in your blueprint, it consists of mainly just the main tower circular structure, but it seems that there is an additional set of rooms coming off the northwestern part of the tower, kind of layered on top of the kind of extra structure of the first floor. That is not in those blueprints. Let me kind of get you outline of those here.
He's going to draw like a map on a separate piece of paper of everything he sees, but the extra structures, he's going to add that to the notes of the blueprints that he took.
Okay. In addition, on the second floor, you see that there is kind of a small bridge of sorts that seems to extend out of the first main tower and connects over to that second tower to the south. So let me just uncover that here. On the third floor, again, on the blueprint, you just have the central column of the main tower. But there is also a third floor built on top of that second floor addition that sticks out of the northwest side as well. And, they're on the second tower to the south, like that has a third floor that continues upwards on that you can see. Fourth floor is the same as what you can tell in the blueprint. It's just the central column at that point. And the secondary tower to the south also has a fourth floor. And the 5th floor of the main tower matches up. And then the last thing you notice is that the main tower seems to have an additional 6th floor that is not in the blueprints. So with that all there, on that particular image there, you should now have uncovered all of what you're able to see from the exterior, as well as what you know from the blueprints that you managed to get a hold of.
Okay, I'm gonna really take my time and detail as much as I can see. Windows, doors, like, everything that I can see. I'll note the bridge. And then Mix is going to consider the shield. And he'll try one last thing to see if there's a weakness. And that's to fire his crossbow to see if a bolt will go straight up and then straight down into the center of the complex.
Okay.
See if the bolt will fall. To see if it's just a cylinder or if it's completely encased.
Sure. So you fire a crossbow bolt kind of up over towards the top of this. And eventually you see the bolt kind of run into this barrier. And then it seems to kind of slide down it on kind of the outside at a slight angle. Just from what you can guess from like the trajectory of your bolt and where it hit, and then as it slides down, it seems like this barrier is like a dome, kind of a narrow, kind of oblong dome over the entire Kolat Towers structure. Here, I'll give you a little artsy image here. In the wintertime, I guess. But at least in this particular image, there's some weather going on, but you can see how it's kind of a dome over the structure here from that.
Okay, and the picture he drew that he observed, like the outline picture, he's going to try to guesstimate the size of the dome and everything with that to give his party as much information as possible.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, from what you guys have seen, just like kind of poking around the outside and stuff like that, like it seems like it conforms pretty nearly to like the edges of the property, and then kind of extends upwards and kind of curves inwards a little bit until it all meets up above the roof somewhere, in kind of a vaguely, it's not like a perfect dome because the shape of the property is kind of weird and rectangular, but kind of the idea we're going for there. It's a dome.
Okay. As soon as Mix has all the information he can gather, he's going to climb down.
Okay.
And suggest going back to Troll Skull to pour over everything and come up with a plan.
Okay. Jinku, Tor, do you guys come over, relay any information to the rest of your group of what you guys saw?
I'll hop down very quickly and tell him, about seeing the guy go in, and I'm going back up to wait for him.
All right. So, Tart, are you going to try to stake out the whole night or as much as you can to just try to see if they return?
Yeah, I just want to see if they come back out.
Okay.
Or anybody comes out, I'm tackling them. Pat them down.
All right. So the rest of you, I assume the rest of you head back to Troll School, just leaving Tordo down here on his own to watch, or?
No, I'll stay.
You'll stay? Okay.
I'll climb up to where, just are you staying up in the, up somewhere, Torda, or?
Yeah, I'll be back up on my roof.
Okay, I'll climb up there and join you.
Okay. The other three of you heading back to Troll School.
Yeah, we have the
Yep.
sending stones, so if Boo or Torta see anything, they can tell us.
Cool. All right. So, let's see here. All right, so the three of you head back up Troll Skull's way, and so Torda, you and Boo, you kind of continue your watch here over Kolat Towers, and as the night goes on, like you continue to not really see much really of any activity around, at least on the exterior of the towers that you could tell. Like the slightly flickering lights in the various windows of the tower seem to just kind of continually go, but you don't notice anything out of the ordinary there. After about 4 or 5 hours or so, Boo, you're kind of looking over the area, the courtyard around the tower from above, and you see someone come out of the door of like the main tower and kind of starts making his way across the courtyard towards the gate.
I'll point that out to Torda. What do you want to do about this?
I'm tackling his ass.
Torda, roll a perception check for me as you're kind of looking at this guy that Boo pointed out to you. This is not the same guy as the one from earlier.
He had to get in somehow. I'm taking him down.
So as he, approaches the edge, or as he approaches the gate here, Boo, Torda, both of you roll me another perception check here as you're kind of intently watching him.
Where's my? I'm terrible at this.
Okay. So as you both are watching, Torda, you don't have quite as clear of a view since he's kind of like up, on the other side of the wall. Like you can kind of see somewhat through like where the gate is at. But you see, Torda, at least, you see him. Let's see here. You see some sort of motion around, his shirt, and you see him, pull something out, hold it up in the air, and passes through the gate, and then stuffs it back into his shirt and starts making his way down the street below you.
I'm in hot pursuit.
Okay. Are you trying to like jump down on top of him from there, or?
I mean, if it's within the 40 feet, yeah.
Yeah, it would be definitely, yeah.
Yep, as soon as that gate's open and he's cleared that damn bubble.
All right. So Boo, you come, jumping out of the sky onto this guy. pretty handily knocking him to the ground without too much trouble at all. You certainly caught him by surprise. And he, begins protesting. You see him like reaching, down towards his waist, seemingly to unsheath something or other, and trying to pick himself up back off the ground. What are you doing, Boo? And Torto?
Sucker punch.
Sucker punch. All right. Go ahead and I guess just go ahead and roll that. Actually, yeah, don't roll him. It'll hit. Yeah, it'll hit. You knocked him down. It's gonna hit him. Okay. So you sucker punch the guy. You just like sucker punching him in the face.
Yep, tried to knock him out so I could search him.
All right.
Nothing, non-lethal, like
non-lethal. Okay, yeah.
glass jaw type punch.
Yeah, I mean, with a 27 like that very definitely hits. And you're a monk. You know where to hit people, and so you're able to pretty handily knock him out unconscious with your kind of surprise sky smash. And he is now prone on the ground.
I'm gonna look through his shirt since that's the place I saw both of them stash that item.
All right, so you go digging around in his shirt, and you find kind of tucked into a small interior pocket a amulet of sorts, and it's a small silver disc, and it has some initials in it, written in some runes that you don't recognize. And in the center of the disc is like a small central blue gemstone, and that seems to be most of what makes this up. It's like a small blue gemstone with a kind of silver disc around it, and then some like initials. It seems in some runic language you don't know, written around it.
Well, I'm gonna imitate what I saw both of them do, like hold the device up and just stand there in front of the door and see if I can pass through.
Okay.
Mimic their stuff.
Okay. Yeah. So you hold this up and try walking through, and yeah, you are able to pass through with this thing.
All right, so I'll grab Boo and see if we both can pass through.
All right. So you kind of hold this. Are you like holding on to Boo, like kind of dragging him through with you?
Well, I'll hold it up and then tell him to like touch it and walk through with me.
Okay. So you're kind of both holding on to it and walk through together like that.
Yeah, it's in my right hand, kind of held out in front of me. That way he can touch it with his left hand.
Okay. That does work. Like you're able to pass through.
All right, and then if I take it away from it, does it expel him from like inside the bubble?
Once you're inside, like if you put it back in your pocket or whatever, it doesn't seem to expel him or anything like that. But you turn around, and you try, if you turn around, you try to like go back out right now without it. It is just like it's a solid wall from both sides, with this barrier. So it seems that this amulet is needed to pass through this, like contact with it, or contact with someone with it. But once you're in, you're in.
You think we could throw it out to the others? Like two of us go through at a time and toss it back out?
Try and toss it out.
I'll go to one side and see if I can toss it to him on the other side.
Okay. So you try hucking the amulet over the wall.
Oh no,
And
can I open the gate and walk through? I mean,
oh, okay, yeah. I mean, so you're trying to throw it like through the gate at Boo.
yeah, it's shortest distance. I don't want to be trying to lose it in space there.
Okay, sure, sure. So you just try to toss it through the gate at Boo, and it does not pass through on its own.
Oof. We're just gonna have to do one person or two people at a time, like me and another person.
Yep.
That's annoying.
Yeah.
Should we hide this guy that we just knocked out? By the way, like dump him in the sewer.
Yeah, I've been trying to think about what we should do with him.
Put him in a sack. We could try to wake him up and pretend we had nothing to do with it. We're just concerned citizens, right?
I mean, if anything, he didn't really see Boo at all.
Yeah, see, I'm gonna get away with it again. I'm gonna just go hide. You take care of him.
Okay. I'll try and like after he takes off, I'll try and shake this knocked out fool awake and act, see if he needs help.
Okay. Torta, you kind of head off a little ways to kind of conceal yourself, and Boo, um, are you doing anything to yourself, Boo, or are you just coming up looking like yourself?
I mean, I don't need to do anything to myself.
That's true. All right, so you walk up and try to slap the guy a few times, try to wake him up, and you are able to kind of rouse him out of his unconsciousness. And he like as he comes out of his unconsciousness, like for a moment there, he's like a little bit bleary, and then he sees you there and seems to kind of very quickly sit up, remembering that something attacked him, and seems to go to like reach for his uh, dagger or whatever is in his sidearm there as he's trying to get up off the ground.
Calm down. I found you here. I'm not sure what happened to you, but there's no need to force me to kill you just because you're a little jumpy. You looked like you could use some help, so I tried to wake you up before you got robbed.
Who the hell are you?
Me? I don't really think you need to know who I am, to be honest. You can call me Roy.
All right, Roy, what are you doing out around here this time of night? Did you see who attacked me?
What are you doing out around here this time of night? What's your name?
I'm not particularly interested in divulging that information to someone I just met.
Okay. Well, there you go, friend. We're both in the same boat then, aren't we?
Did you happen to see who knocked me out?
No, I didn't. Did you? Did you get a look at them?
Only a glimpse. Some sort of lizard man looking thing.
Yeah. Lizard man looking thing. Well, be safe. You wouldn't want a lizard man looking thing knocking you out. Why don't you have a safe rest of your evening, friend?
Roll a deception check for me, Boo.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
All right. So, as you're kind of talking to him, and he's kind of picking himself up at the ground, or up off the ground, like he's kind of patting his pockets and things, and he notices that his satchel of coin and whatever is all still there, and he gets to his shirt and like pats his shirt a bit, and he kind of gets that kind of absent-minded look for a moment as he pats his pocket, being like, "Wait a minute, there's supposed to be something in here." And he kind of you know turns, looks at you, says, "You didn't happen to take anything out of my pockets, did you?" And he kind of again reaches, like you see what his like right hand reaching for his dagger.
No, Roy isn't known for stealing.
And he continues kind of looking at you suspiciously, and after a moment, you see kind of a look in his eye. You can see him kind of weighing his options here, and looking you over, kind of sizing you up compared to himself, and he lunges at you with his dagger as he says, "Well, I'm afraid I'm going to have to check." And Boo, roll yourself up some initiative here.
I roll for initiative, or I hit him in the face. What am I doing?
Roll for initiative. He's lunging at you with this dagger. All right.
I've been training with a half lizard thing, maybe a frog.
And Torta, since you're still nearby, you roll for initiative as well. I assume you're probably keeping an eye on things.
Oh, I'm back on the roof watching him.
Back on the roof? Okay, you're up on the roof. Roll for initiative. All right. Well, Torta, it looks like you rolled pretty nice there on initiative. You are first up. Like, from up above, like, you see this guy, continuing to kind of confront Boo here, and, you see him lunging in Boo's direction to make a strike. What are you doing up there on the roof?
Oh, we're going to drop the ring down and bring the pain down, too.
All right.
I'm going to jump off the roof and hit him again.
All right. Go ahead. Should be in the... Oh, let me make him visible in the combat tracker. Sorry. There you go. Fire away.
We got 3 punches, or well, 3 kicks this time coming down.
Boom, there's one. All right. Boom, there's 2. Whew. One more. Whoo-hoo. Damn. Well, some petty Zentrum thug wasn't too much of a match for Torta there.
Is Boo inside the bubble, or is he still on the outside? Because this dude just disappeared.
I mean, you guys are currently out on the street because you came back out to check out his body, and Boo was waking him up.
No, I mean inside my ring bubble, because when I jumped down, I put the ring on, so I have the mist around me.
Sorry, yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, so like he didn't really notice, he didn't see you up there at all as you came, plunging down, foot out, doing a frickin' pile driver with your ankle onto him.
All right, I'm gonna take his body in my mist bubble, and we're gonna put him in an alley in the sewer. That way nobody can see the evidence.
Okay, just like chucking them down the one sewer you guys were in earlier, down the back way.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you managed to drag him over there pretty easily, and with Boo's help, you get the cap popped open.
We like make him look like a robbery type thing, not just like beat to death in the street. So we'll take his money and his dagger and shit,
Okay.
and throw it in the sewer.
Okay. So in that case, let's see. Let me grab some stuff to put in the party sheet here. So in his coin purse, you find
Tree fitting.
tree fitting. You find 10 gold pieces, 7 silver pieces, and 5 copper, and then his dagger. Alright, you should see that coinage and the dagger that he had in the party sheet there, if you want to grab those at all. But otherwise, you're able to pretty quickly dispose of the body without too much difficulty down into the sewer system.
Take all the gold too, Boo, because I don't have anything to carry it on me right now.
Okay.
I know you're good for it.
Huh. Sure. Let's get rid of this body and get home.
Boopy the pack horse.
I'll put the body in the sewer, dump it in there. I don't really have anything that can like move things along, so just dump it in there, and then I guess we'll head home.
Yep.
All right. Sounds good. Okay, so you make your way back to Troll Skull and find Mix and Jinku and Zara there as well. Mix has his kind of detailed blueprint that he'd been marking up, and then his other notes as well.
I'll toss the amulet on the table, kind of explain how it works, and then I'm going to bed. Tired. I did a lot of work.
All right. It's been a long night.
Yeah, but we need to move quick. Can they change these things, Boo?
Can I roll something to see if they can change the items?
Does it have like a password? You just
Can the
talk at
Horcrux
it?
change?
Roll me an Arcana check.
I'm rolling fucking useless today. Jesus.
That's pretty. I mean, with your bonus, it still works out fine. I mean, you don't know. I mean, you don't know about this one, but I mean, you know that that might be a possibility. But who can really say for sure?
So nap and then get back over there?
Yeah, that sounds like it should be a good plan. You guys agree? Seems like the rest of them agree, Torta.
I think they're still asleep. We'll just wake them up when we're ready.
They agreed. I didn't whisper to them each. Don't worry about it. We'll go take a nap and then we'll go try this.
All right. Sounds like a plan. So let's see. I know we're a hair early tonight, but I think this will probably be a good place to stop for now before we get into the shenanigans at Colot Towers. So I'm gonna call it there for now, just a little bit before time, and try to bust into this place next time.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys. See when is
2 weeks. Okay. The 9th.
9th.
Quick, are you gonna play through your vacation, or is it just DMing that you're taking off?
Yeah, I'll play. That's
Good
the
on
day
you.
before my birthday.
Nice. Well, hopefully you have a successful heist for your birthday.
They give you at the dispensary in the loop, they give you a medicated root beer and a local micro creamery vanilla ice cream on your birthday. And then you can make a THC root beer float.
Holy fucking shit.
And it's like enough THC, like, so I got a very high tolerance myself, so it's enough THC to get me pretty fucking high. It's enough THC to knock the rest of everyone else in this room besides Baza like down for the night. It's pretty great.
Damn. That,
Okay,
I
Moog.
personally don't like how the
that
edibles
sounds
hit.
great.
Why are we not doing that for my birthday?
Right? Jeez.
Can I come there for my birthday?
Party at Quick's house. Alright. Well, we'll see y'all next time we stop.